The House will now be held before it, House Joint Memorial number 18. Good gentleman, 24.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I request that we dispense with further reading of House Joint Memorial 18.
Have consent be requested. If there are objections, hearing none, gentleman has the floor.
All right, thank you very much. Good body. Weather technology has been around since the 1950s. I believe it was Johnson who quoted in 1962, whoever controls the weather controls the world. Fast forward to these days, and one of the biggest hot button issues in the scientific community is geoengineering. What is geoengineering? If you notice, I put out some information on your desk because there is a plethora of information and white papers and documents and news reports and stories about geoengineering and how it is used to combat what is perceived as a climate emergency. Geoengineering is also essentially known as climate intervention in regards to a deliberate large-scale manipulation of the Earth's climate system in an attempt to counteract human-caused climate change. So the memorial that we are talking about today is one of all-encompassing. It's left, it's right, it's rich, it's poor, it's everyone in between. So this memorial essentially is urging Congress to prohibit unauthorized solar geoengineering within our airspaces and activities over Idaho. It's also important to note that over 30 states, well over 30 states now, almost 3/4 of our states, have already proposed or passed or both legislation addressing this. So the EPA, one of the biggest issues of geoengineering here that we're talking about is solar radiation modification, and that is essentially composed of stratospheric aerosol injection. Once again, there are definitions on these pages that I passed out, but just to go back over it, stratospheric aerosol injection is calling for the injecting of tiny particles, reflective particles, into the stratosphere, for example, by airplanes or balloons, etc. These particles essentially would scatter out and reflect incoming sunlight. They also call it dimming the sun. So there are many documents, as I mentioned, that validate not only the existence, but the research going back decades and decades. Back in 2023, the Biden administration put forth the congressionally mandated research plan and initial research governance framework related to solar geoengineering modification, or solar radiation modification, I should say. And there's a great quote that talks about the known unknowns, and there's some pretty chilling stuff in there. A lot of unknowns that are a possibility if we continue to embark on this. The IOP Science Journal, it's an online journal, posted back in 2020 a cost of stratospheric aerosol injection through the year 2100. That's 75 years. This is back in 1920. They created a large white paper with the projected cost of stratospheric aerosol injection. And this included the budgets, the process, air flights, ingredients, even including but not limited to aluminum oxide, titanium dioxide, and sulfur dioxide. Back in 2010, we had a group of 190 nations in Nagoya, Japan, under a treaty, come out and agree to ban geoengineering. That was 15, 16 years ago now. And recently, the UK has admitted to doing it, and Mexico has recently decided to ban this as well. I was actually this summer invited to partake in a Zoom meeting with academics and scientists from across the globe, and they are working on what they're calling an international solar geoengineering non-use agreement. It was at this point I realized this is something that we need to get out ahead of and take very seriously. Just that organization alone now has over 600 academics and over 70 nations that have signed on to this non-use agreement when it comes to solar geoengineering. As far as funding is concerned, billions of dollars have funneled into solar geoengineering, its research and experiments. From 2008 to 2018, Bill Gates alone has funded over 12% of that. Bill Gates alone, and he's just one of the players. So what does this do? Essentially, once again, this memorial acknowledges we have no laws or statutes that are protecting the airspace above Idaho. And it is an important step in asserting our rights, our 10th Amendments, and making sure that we are going the steps that we need to go to protect our soil, our water, our air, our children, everyone. So these rights have never been granted to our federal government. And once again, this is a protection mechanism, and getting out there and standing with 37 other states saying we do not want this to happen and the federal government needs to step up and do something about this. So I would just urge and appreciate your green light. Thank you.
You've heard the motions. Further debate on the motion. Good lady from 9.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To debate for the bill.
Lady has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I have noticed these streaks in the sky and things looking different for many years. It was about in 94, 95 when I noticed the sky was turning orange after all of these streaks. It doesn't do that today, but it did then. It freaked me out so much, I made my kids leave the hayfield and go into the house because I didn't know what this was. And it has increased over and over. I took a picture of up on top of Midvale Hill, and the sky is completely crisscrossed. Those aren't regular planes flying. That was during COVID when there weren't any planes flying, regular planes, that is. So something is going on. I also have an article that the Forest Service wrote in '78. This was a report, actually, where they talked about doing exactly this. And they had various pictures that looked just like the one I have up at Midvale Hill. So something is going on, and I think we need to take it very seriously. Thank you.
For debate on the motion. Gentleman for.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To debate for the bill.
Has the floor.
This is a very important issue, and it has become increasingly obvious in my area, North Idaho, Coeur d'Alene, how much our skies are changing. When I moved to Coeur d'Alene 14 some years ago, I was impressed with how blue the skies were on a continual basis from about March through end of September, early October. That's no longer the case. The skies now look like a plaid tie. I see it continuously, day after day after day, crisscross patterns of streaks, white streaks that do not disappear. They dissipate, and then they merge into a single gray object, which is now what our sky has become. So I want to thank the good gentleman for bringing this forward, and I urge your green light on this as well.
For debate on the motion. Hearing none, and hearing no negative debate, debate is closed. Question is, shall House Joint Memorial 18 pass the House? Clerk will unlock the machine. Members will cast their votes. Has every member voted? Miller. Birch is gone. Matthias. Does anybody change their vote? Clerk will lock machine and record the roll. 39 ayes, 29 ayes, 2 absent and excused, majority having voted in favor of House Joint Memorial 18. House Joint Memorial 18 is passed. House. Correction title.
No correction to title.
Hearing none, the title is approved.